Stand at a major intersection in Delhi. The sheer volume of motion is a staggering, high-speed collision of infrastructure, labor, and environmental friction. The layers here are thick. You see an informal economy of street vendors on the pavement, heavy traffic gridlock on the road, and the track of a modern transit system cutting through the smog overhead. A standard social science approach often tries to isolate these into separate categories, like transportation or economics. But in this environment, those categories bleed into one another. You cannot fix the traffic without understanding the street-side economy. India's unique geography and history add even more variables. We are looking at a society defined by intense cultural pluralism, where thousands of distinct identities occupy the same square mile. When models imported from other contexts don't account for this specific local overlap, they lose their ability to explain why the street functions, or fails, the way it does. To accurately diagnose these problems, we have to adopt a perspective that views India's geography, history, and governance as a single interwoven system. Move away from the intersection and toward a government school. This isn't just a site for learning. It is where the Indian Constitution is actively applied every morning. Take the concept of secularism. While some nations maintain a strict wall between state and religion, the Indian state remains equidistant to all of them. In a Delhi school, this means the morning assembly focuses on universal values that treat all faiths with the same level of respect. But modern civic life also faces digital threats. Consider a WhatsApp rumor claiming a board exam has been leaked, spreading through a classroom in seconds. Neutralizing that sudden panic requires a strong scientific temper. This is an explicit constitutional duty for every citizen to demand evidence and investigate root causes before accepting any claim as truth. In this context, being a good citizen means using logic to maintain social harmony in the face of constant misinformation. Look up at the city's skyline, and you'll see the Red Fort, a physical reminder of colonial rule and the long freedom struggle. The economic systems and definitions of justice we use today were forged as a direct response to the exploitation visible in records like this. But history also lives in the mundane. Look down at a municipal truck collecting garbage in a local neighborhood. This is the result of the 73rd Constitutional Amendment. It decentralized power, ensuring that local self-governments handle the immediate daily needs of the community. Democracy here is practiced through neighborhood-level accountability, long after the national polls have closed. Look at a metro train tedding through the city's thick smog. It represents the friction between the push for economic development and environmental reality. The experience of this environment is divided by income. A passenger inside the air-conditioned train is insulated from the very air that the street vendor below must breathe all day. While industrial growth improves facilities across the city, the environmental consequences of that growth are rarely distributed with any sense of equity. Marginalized groups often suffer the most during pollution crises because their livelihoods are tied to working outdoors. They lack the resources to hide from the climate they are helping to build. From an Indian perspective, you cannot speak about protecting the environment without simultaneously discussing economic justice. All these different lenses converge on single events, like the massive migration from rural villages into the capital. Geography tracks the physical movement of these people, while economics explains why they leave farms for city factories. Political science dictates how the state provides housing for migrants, while history explains why past development made these routes inevitable. One real-world problem has 4 different layers. Only by looking at them all at once can we see the whole picture. This framework allows us to respect our diversity while demanding that development remains sustainable and equitable for everyone. This is how we begin to navigate the massive complexity of 1 billion people and work toward a future that actually reflects the values of our Constitution.